In the world of the bold and the beautiful, chaos is always just one heartbeat away, and the drama is about to explode. As this week's episodes unravel, emotions will erupt, secrets will crack open, and lives will once again be pushed to the edge. Ridge Forrester finds himself paralyzed by a ring, not just any ring, but the engagement ring Nick Marone intends to give to Brooke Logan. The sight of it alone is enough to ignite a storm inside Ridge, one that refuses to be quieted. Eric Forrester, watching everything unfold with the sharp eye of a seasoned patriarch, doesn't miss the turmoil brewing in Ridge. He senses danger, a point of no return. This isn't just a casual flirtation between Brooke and Nick. This is a serious threat. Brooke, the woman Ridge has loved endlessly and lost repeatedly, is about to be swept away, perhaps permanently. The ring is bold. It sparkles with intent. It dares Ridge to act. And so he will. Eric doesn't sit on the sidelines either. Seeing the direction this is going, he raises the alarm. Ridge has no time left. Brooke is already preparing to leave with Nick, already leaning into the fantasy that he's carefully orchestrated around her. Eric pushes Ridge to act, to stop pretending and reclaim what matters most before it's too late. Ridge doesn't need much convincing. As soon as he hears about the boat trip, Nick's grand gesture, a romantic cruise where he plans to propose, Ridge flips. There's no more room for hesitation. He decides he must stop the trip no matter what. It's not just jealousy driving him. It's a primal fear of losing the only woman who ever truly held his heart. While Ridge is consumed by the crisis of love, across town a different kind of storm is unfolding. At the hospital, Finn is locked in his own battle. He's been chasing answers that never seem to come. Liam Spencer's mysterious, advanced procedure doesn't add up. Every file Finn has tried to access has been sanitized, every question met with a vague, dismissive wall. That wall has a name, Grace. She's confident, evasive, and increasingly suspect. Finn and Bridget Forrester corner her, demanding specifics, but she gives them nothing. No data, no reports, just empty reassurances and a plea to trust her judgment. Finn isn't buying it. The deeper he digs, the more inconsistencies he finds. The terminology is off. The symptoms don't match. The recovery timeline is too fast, too clean. Finn's instincts are on fire. And he's not letting this go. He's a doctor, but more than that, he's a man who's seen too much to accept convenient explanations. Grace tries to delay him. She pulls rank, tries to leverage her influence. But Finn doesn't blink. He keeps pushing, and what he begins to uncover is explosive, a scam, one that involves falsified treatments and phantom brain tumors. Grace isn't just hiding information. She's orchestrating a fraud of dangerous proportions. Back with Ridge, the clock is ticking. He knows Brooke is about to step onto that boat with Nick. He also knows Nick is the kind of man who doesn't waste time. When he proposes, it'll be dramatic, sweeping, romantic in all the ways Brooke responds to. Ridge can't afford to let her be swept away by the fantasy. So he forms a plan, stop the trip at any cost. But Brooke is already halfway to being charmed into submission. Nick pulls out all the stops. He surrounds her with luxury. Soft lighting, chilled champagne, every detail curated to perfection. He talks about the future, about the life they could build. He makes her feel like royalty. And for a moment, Brooke lets herself believe it. She lets her guard down. She leans into the comfort, the certainty Nick offers. She steps onto the boat, her heels clicking against the polished deck. She smiles. She relaxes. She does what she's not supposed to do. She leans back, reclining carelessly against the edge of the yacht, caught in a haze of emotion and indulgence. And that's when things take a turn. Nick, distracted, misses the shift in balance. A sudden wave hits. The boat rocks. Brooke slips. In an instant, she's in the water. It's chaos. The crew yells. Nick panics. He wasn't prepared for this. The moment he was supposed to propose has turned into a nightmare. Brooke is flailing, struggling against the waves. Her dress pulls her down. The water's cold. The panic is real. Help is coming, but not from Nick. Ridge has been watching, waiting for the right moment to intervene. He sees her fall. And he moves. He doesn't think. He dives. Ridge hits the water hard, cutting through it with precision. He reaches Brooke fast, grabs her, pulls her to safety. As they resurface, gasping for air, something changes between them. It's not just about old love. It's about something deeper. Ridge saved her. Not just from the water, but from a path she may have regretted forever. Nick watches, helpless, as Ridge hauls Brooke back to shore. The moment is his worst nightmare realized. Brooke clings to Ridge, shaken and wet but safe. Her eyes say what words can't. Thank you. I missed you. I need you. Ridge holds her close, his heart pounding not just from the swim, but from the undeniable truth that he still loves her more than anything. And maybe, just maybe, she still loves him too. But nothing in this world is simple. As Ridge tends to Brooke, the fallout is just beginning. Nick isn't giving up. He'll regroup, redouble his efforts. Grace, meanwhile, is slipping. Finn's investigation is closing in, and the revelations ahead will shake more than just one patient file. They'll touch the lives of everyone involved, exposing lies, shattering reputations, and forcing people to face truths they've buried. There are no coincidences in the bold and the beautiful. Every move, every choice, every whisper of doubt leads somewhere. And for now, the path leads straight into a tangle of romance, betrayal, and buried secrets clawing their way to the surface. Ridge knows he's not out of the woods. Brooke may have survived the fall, but whether she's ready to fall back into his arms is another matter. And Finn, he's barely scratched the surface of what Grace has done. The scam she's running could bring down the hospital. Liam could be in far more danger than anyone imagined. But the most dangerous thing of all? Time. It's running out for everyone. Stay tuned. The storm is just getting started. Nick Marone thought he had it all figured out. In the heart of Rome, under the golden glow of ancient streets and the hum of history, he dropped to one knee and asked Brooke Logan to be his forever. No hesitation, no conditions, just pure, unfiltered commitment. Brooke, overwhelmed by the moment, by the man, by the city that never forgets love, said yes. But not in the traditional way. She agreed to a symbolic wedding, a celebration of unity without the legal bindings. It would happen at the Marone estate, an elegant affair that would capture everything she felt without dragging up the ghosts of past marriages. It was supposed to be private, intimate, sacred. But nothing stays simple in the world of the bold and the beautiful. Preparations moved fast. Brooke and Nick were swept up in the beauty of it all. The staff at the Marone estate were instructed to keep it quiet. No press. No leaks. Just the two of them, surrounded by the few they trusted, committing to a future that felt clean and untouched by the chaos that had followed them for years. Brooke wore a gown unlike any she'd worn before, soft ivory silk, not a formal wedding dress, but stunning enough to stop time. Nick wore his heart on his sleeve. And as they stood before the officiant, the words began to flow. Not just rehearsed vows, but real declarations. They spoke about surviving storms, about rediscovering joy, about learning how to let go of old pain. It wasn't just a ceremony. It was a promise to begin again. But then it happened. Just as Nick reached for Brooke's hand to place the ring on her finger, the officiant's assistant, pale and shaking, rushed forward with a tablet. "You need to see this," she whispered. Nick hesitated. The screen showed a single email, unmarked, anonymous, but undeniably threatening. The subject line, "Stop this farce." And then the message, just one sentence. "If you go through with this, there will be consequences you can't imagine." It hit like a bolt of ice. The room froze. Brooke blinked. Nick's jaw clenched. The music died. Gasps echoed around the room as guests glanced at each other, unsure whether it was part of the ceremony or something darker. But the tension was undeniable. This wasn't a prank. Someone knew. Someone didn't want this union to happen. And they were willing to burn everything down to stop it. Nick snapped into action. He ordered security to sweep the estate. The guests were ushered into side rooms. The officiant tried to maintain calm, but the ceremony was effectively over. Brooke, shaken but steady, demanded answers. Who knew about this wedding? Who had the motive and the access to disrupt it so precisely? There were too many suspects. Ridge Forrester, of course, came to mind instantly. He had always believed that Brooke belonged with him. Seeing her with Nick again, especially agreeing to a symbolic marriage, might have pushed him over the edge. But Ridge was thousands of miles away, or so she thought. Eric Forrester, though aging and wise, had his own stake in the matter. He had always seen Nick as a wild card, a man too volatile for someone like Brooke. Could he have orchestrated something so underhanded? Then there was Taylor Hayes, forever tangled in the Logan Forrester-Marone triangle. She had every reason to want Brooke out of the picture for good. But even Taylor wouldn't stoop to anonymous threats. Would she? As the investigation unfolded, more disturbing details surfaced. The email wasn't traced to any known server. It was routed through multiple encrypted relays, professionally masked. This wasn't just someone venting emotions. It was calculated. Planned. A message meant not just to scare, but to control. Nick grew furious. This was supposed to be their moment. He pulled Brooke aside, gripped her hands, looked her dead in the eyes. "We can still do this," he said. "Symbolic or not, I don't care what threat is out there. I'm not afraid." But Brooke, ever the realist, felt the chill. "I believe you," she said, "but this is no longer just about us." She wasn't backing out, but she was now aware that their relationship had crossed a line. Someone powerful, someone with reach and motive, had decided to stop them. The question was why. And who? The Marone estate turned into a fortress overnight. Guards at every entrance. Phone lines monitored. Every guest's credentials checked again. Meanwhile, Ridge received the news. He had been in Los Angeles, distracted by business, but the second the message reached him, his world tilted. Brooke was about to marry Nick. Not legally, no, but emotionally. Publicly. Symbolically. And she hadn't told him. She had moved on without even offering him a chance to fight. And now the wedding was sabotaged. His mind raced. Was this fate giving him one more shot? Or was it someone else pulling the strings? Ridge didn't sit idle. He got on the next flight to Italy. Back in Rome, the atmosphere was tense. Nick tried to reschedule the ceremony, keeping it low-key, but every time they got close to setting a new date, more interference occurred. Mysterious phone calls. Glitched cameras. Security tripped with no clear breach. Someone was watching them. Brooke started looking over her shoulder. Every moment that should have been filled with love and joy now came wrapped in fear. Finn, back at the hospital in Los Angeles, picked up whispers of the event through his connections. He reached out to Bridget Forrester, who confirmed the incident. Finn had his hands full with his own storm, Grace's deception, Liam's questionable diagnosis. But something about the Marone wedding threat caught his attention. He'd seen enough medical scams to know when something smelled off, and this felt connected. He began digging off the record. What he found was a single IP ping that crossed paths with the same network Grace had used in her falsified research. Could it be the same person? Could someone be coordinating sabotage across both professional and personal fronts? If so, it was bigger than anyone had realized. Ridge finally arrived in Rome. He didn't call ahead. He didn't warn anyone. He walked straight into the Marone estate with fire in his eyes. Nick met him in the main hall. Neither man spoke at first. The tension crackled. Ridge finally broke the silence. "You think this is love? You think playing house in Europe will make her forget everything we've built?" Nick didn't flinch. "She chose this. You didn't even know it was happening." That says it all. Brooke, hearing raised voices, stepped in before fists could fly. She stood between them, her voice steady but cold. This isn't about either of you. Someone is threatening us. That's the real issue. But Ridge couldn't let it go. Someone who clearly sees what I see, that this is a mistake. Brooke's eyes narrowed. If you came here to stop me, you're too late. But if you came to help, then help us find the truth. Reluctantly, Ridge agreed. The three formed an uneasy truce. With Finn feeding information from LA and Bridget coordinating logistics, they traced the sabotage to a shadow account linked to a private offshore foundation, one with ties to Sheila Carter's old aliases. The name sent shivers through all of them. Could Sheila be behind this? Could she still be out there, lurking, meddling in Brooke's life once again? The investigation pushed deeper. They found security footage of a woman in a wide-brimmed hat and sunglasses, slipping past the estate gates days before the ceremony. Not enough for identification, but enough to know it wasn't just digital sabotage, it was physical. Real. Close. Brooke made a decision. I'm finishing what I started, she said. I won't live in fear. I won't let someone else dictate my life. Nick supported her. Ridge tried to talk her out of it. But she was resolute. The symbolic ceremony would continue, threats be damned. It would be quiet. No guests. Just her and Nick. The next morning, under tight security, Brooke walked barefoot across the courtyard stones of the Marone estate. The sun rose behind her. Nick stood waiting. They exchanged vows, not for an audience, not for appearances, but for each other. No email came. No threat arrived. Only silence. But the silence didn't bring peace. It brought a new question. Was this the end of the threat? Or only the beginning?